Annyeonghaseyo! Welcome to Afternoona Delight, where Leah, Megan, and Amy, romance novelists and your K-romance guides. So grab some dekboki and listen to your new favorite unnies.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hi there. How is everybody tonight, whatever time it is for whoever's listening?
So my family the other night watched The Truman Show.
Ooh, my kids love that one.
I hadn't seen it in a really long time, but he's like, what does he say? Like, what's the catchphase? Like,
good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Yeah, in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
That's a movie, right?
Yeah, The Truman Show. It's with Jim Carrey. It's really good.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen the movie.
It's so good. It's where he does not know that everybody in his life is an actor.
Right. I know the premise, but I'm not sure. I mean, of course, I watched all of the terrible Ace Ventura movies, which I'm sorry, those.
I love those.
I know, but there are things that do not hold up.
No, of course not.
In 2024.
I do not love Ace. I do not love Ace Ventura. I do not love The Mask, but I do love The Truman Show.
Not surprised. I did love The Mask, and I did love Ace Ventura.
I didn't love The Mask, but I love the Ace Ventura movies.
I watched all of the Ace Ventura movies like you would not believe.
I think I've only seen two. Is there more than two?
I feel like there might be three, but the third one might not be like the full cast. Do you know what I'm saying? You know how they do that sometimes? They like, throw out a third one, but it's not. Yeah. There are just things about it looking back where I was like, oh my God. What'd you say?
So Amy, I feel like I know the answer to this question. I feel like I know the answer to this question for Amy, but I do not know it for you.
Okay.
How about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
So this is a movie that I have not seen, but yet I constantly tell myself I need to see because I do think I would love it.
It's one of the best romance movies ever.
It ruined me.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I think that's why I haven't watched it because you have to. I think I know that about it.
I haven't watched it again. I watched it once and I really, really liked it. But oh my gosh,
I want my daughter to watch it with me. I would love to watch it with her. It's so good. It's so good.
I know, but I have to like be ready for something to wreck me, and I'm not always.
It's a good wrecking.
I know.
I'll say that it's a good wrecking. Like you'll be good at the end. It's a good wrecking.
I didn't expect us to be talking about Jim Carrey.
Right? You started it.
I did. I really did. And I just didn't expect, like, I always I like when we start a banter and I'm like, I was like, hey, everyone does their little thing. And then it was quiet. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I have nothing I have no brain.
And here we are on Jim Carrey.
We always come up with something to talk about.
I mean, there's stuff going on. We're just all, spread a little thin.
People are like, we'll always come up with something. I just can't promise it's going to be good.
I know. Well, I'm still kind of like adjusting. Going to Scotland, like right at the beginning of the school year was definitely disruptive. So I'm sort of like trying to get back into things, dealing with kid activities, deciding on which field hockey clubs my daughter's going to play, all that stuff. I know you're already bored, right?
I'm already bored. So I want to circle back to Jim Carrey again. I mean, as much as I'm riveted by field hockey schedules and we can get to it.
No, we do not have to.
We don't need to get to it. I'm crossing it off the list.
The minute you said it, I was like, I've already thought.
I know. My life is like, I know.
So Smasher Pal.
Who?
It depends.
No, I'm not saying it depends. Jim Carrey, the entire
person,
just Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Pass. Smash.
So we have a smash and a pass.
Yeah. For Jim Carrey as a person, smash.
I'm passing. I think I get like yeah. Well,
I like his performances, but like,
you know what? I think I would actually, I'm going to change. I think I would smash. I like where Jim Carrey has ended up. I think like Jim Carrey from the 90s. Jim Carrey now with like some grizzle and like kind of calmed down.
Yes. That's what I mean. Like the Jim Carrey who has seen things.
Yeah, smash
Yeah.
for me too.
That's what I don't want Jim Carrey like Ace Ventura era or the Mask era. I don't want that one. I want like in the present. So if you asked me this in like the 90s, I would be like, pass. You know? Well, I was also like 10 in the 90s.
No, because I was going to say, when I said it depends, I was like, if you're giving me him in like a role like Eternal Sunshine, like smash the hell out of that.
Mm-hmm.
But
wait, who was his female lead in that?
Kate Winslet.
Oh, shit, I love her. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what the premise is, right? It's like, so you can.
It's a K-drama. It's very K-drama.
It's very K-drama. You can get a procedure done that will wipe out your memories of a person. And basically they're in a relationship and it's a very like tumultuous relationship and something in that realm takes place. And I don't want to say anything else because it's too spoilery, but so good. Like
it's like amnesia, but like it's like voluntary amnesia.
It's like Severance, which you guys haven't watched either.
No, but I know about that.
And
too,
Severance is fantastic, and it's coming back in January on Apple Plus. Not sponsored. But yeah, it's voluntary. But it's really, I mean, it's really kind of cool because to be able to wipe a person out of your life completely, you have to get rid of everything that you own that has any connection to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool. And a young Mark Ruffalo is in it too. And I fell in love with him in that. I'm like, who's this nerdy dude in the glasses?
Aww.
Who's Mark Ruffalo?
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I'll add it to the list.
You won't be disappointed.
You guys are
I still
asking me to watch
have
Twilight.
not done The Godfather. It's 3 hours. I gotta
Give
I gotta
yourself
find
up for it.
3 different hours in a week to do it. Because I can't watch it in one sitting.
Yes, you can.
I do not have just 3 hours that I want to spare on.
You haven't started it?
No.
Then you can't. No, because once you're in, you're in. It's not like, oh, there's not like a part where you're like, oh, well, at this point, I feel like I'm good. Like it is a compelling through movie. Like there's not
a. You know what? Challenge accepted. I think that I will be able to pause it after an hour.
I'm really curious too. I'll be able to pause Twilight. I can tell you that. I'm still going to do it.
I don't think you will.
Okay.
Why would you? I mean,
it's so campy and fun.
Well, you know what? It's not. I can guarantee you I will be able to pause on air. That you can take to the bank for free. I absolutely.
You're gonna pause it 90 seconds in. As soon as he steps out of.
Oh my God.
As soon as you see him in the mullet, you're gonna be like, pause.
I can't believe we are making her watch.
I don't want to hear a thing about complaining about The Godfather because you're watching a quality film.
Yeah, I actually feel a little bad, but then at the same time, you have to watch.
But here's the thing, Megan.
Yeah.
And this is coming off of Leah in our Patreon live just before saying, I'm not like cerebral. Like you don't have to sell me stuff like on that level. But like coming from me and Megan, what do we have to sell Leah other than Nick Cage that we have watched that she hasn't? You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, we don't have like an Eternal Sunshine that Leah didn't catch.
You're not having me watch Con Air for anything other than to bully me.
I mean, in a way, yes. This is hazing.
Yes.
This is hazing without violence. That's what this is.
I think Leah would disagree that there's no violence in this hazing.
This is psychological hazing. That is what we are doing.
Yeah, like you didn't even give me The Rock.
This is the thing though. I regret. I want to be in the same room with you. Like I'm not going to get the full enjoyment. I want to be in the room with you and I want to watch your face.
She's going to watch it with Nick and the whole like 90 minutes or however long it is. She's going to be like, I fucking hate them.
Yeah. And does Nick like movies like this? Like he'll like this?
Nick loves anything that has like no plot and action.
Okay, well then
I
that's
think
Con Air.
I'm sure Nick has watched Con Air like 20 times.
Oh, okay, he'll love
Yeah.
Con Air. I mean, it's like that's what it is.
I mean,
There
Nick
is plot,
Cage,
though.
John Malkovich, Steve Buscemi. Like, what
Look,
more could you add?
look.
John Cusack. You got a
Look,
little John
this is-
Cusack.
This is a good cast. You're telling me a good. Okay.
It is
it
a really
is.
good cast. Look, Con Air is the Ulysses of our time. It's just a man. It's just a man trying to get home.
Wait, James Joyce Ulysses? Oh, wait. Okay, you're talking.
No.
Okay.
Ulysses, the like
Okay.
Greek-
Okay.
it's Nick Cage is just a
I
man.
thought she was going James Joyce too for a second.
No, just a man trying to get home. Okay. And there's distractions, and there's obstacles. He needs to conquer all of them to get home. So
Okay,
it's been
Okay. I'm just lowbrow right now.
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi, smash or pass?
oh no, and especially not after you watch Con Air. I'm
Pass.
sorry, I gotta pass
Pass.
on Steve Buscemi.
Okay. John Malkovich.
Oh, I mean, smash, absolutely. Even in Con Air.
Mhm.
I'm smashed too.
Pass.
What was the movie where
Talented guy, but pass for me.
Being John Malkovich.
Being John
what a
Malkovich is
weirdo.
amazing. Have you
No.
seen that, Megan?
Yes. No.
Okay.
What was the movie? Oh, that the card game with Matt or oh my God. The card the gambling one with
Matt Damon?
Matt Damon. What was that called? Matt Damon and
I don't know. But I'm bored again.
no,
No, I know what movie you're talking about, but I
John
can't
Malkovich was in that, and I will never forget because they're playing like poker or something, or I don't know, whatever you say checked. I think it's poker. And John Malkovich's like, check. I'll never be over it. And smash. That's it.
Okay. That's very specific kink, and I appreciate it. And
Yeah.
speaking of specific kinks, because it's time to segue to K-dramas now.
Yeah, it is. Sorry.
As much as I could smash or pass all night, because I'm just in a smash or pass mood.
Yeah.
But let's smash or pass throughout the entire pod.
We can
Okay.
throughout
It
the
is
whole
our-
night. Let's smash or pass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's our uncensored pod, which means we have turned the reins over to the Patreon for questions.
Yeah.
And do any of you have there's a lot of funny questions or good questions in here. Do any of you
Yes.
have just pick one that you're interested in throwing into the chat.
So, okay, so there's one I'm trying to find who asked it because I read through it. And it was about sort of hate watching a drama, and I can't find who asked it.
Yeah, somebody was like, what is a drama you've hate watched, basically?
Yes, but I wanted to give credit to whoever asked it, but I can't find it right now. But and it also kind of came up in our Patreon chat before.
Oh.
Have you ever hate watched something and then ended up liking it at the end?
Yeah.
Which I think is a good twist on it. So
Caroline asked,
oh, thank you, Caroline.
what do you do when you're hate watching?
So I think there's different levels of that. There's hate watching, and I think there's also obligation watching kind of
Mhm.
too.
Mhm.
Because I've done both. I talked about how I just did that for Again My Life with Lee Joon-gi, and it was just kind of obligatory watching because I loved him. But the drama itself bored me. I hate watched Personal Taste with Lee Min-ho because that was when I was in my Lee Min-ho era, and I felt like I needed to watch everything, that he was in. And I just kept waiting for the twist where his character was going to get better, and it never did. And I think a hate watch is very disappointing when you're hate watching an actor who you love and it's not their fault. It's it's the writing. The story was just not, it was just not there, and it didn't do it for me. And I'm, I my apologies for anybody who loved Personal Taste. I did not, and I've talked about that before. But that's the only reason I think I will hate watch something is if it's an actor that I love and I feel like I've got to see it through to the end because I love them so much. That's the only thing that'll keep me in it. Or if it's an assignment for the pod, which we don't do that much anymore, but I hate watched Run On.
Yeah, you did.
You did. So I hate watched 3 that come to mind. The Silent Sea.
Oh God, yeah, we all
yeah,
did.
you hated that one. Yeah,
I hated it so much
you did.
that I finished it on New Year's Eve, like 2022, I guess. Is that when it came out? 2022?
Something like that.
Yeah. And I was like in my room alone starting the new year pissed.
But at least you left it in the old year.
No, I think I like had crossed into the like.
Oh no.
You crossed into the new year with Gong Yu's light blinking out.
Yeah. Yes, I did. I was like up in the mountains, like in a cabin, and yes. And then Cafe Minimum Dong hated watching.
Yeah.
The Sound of Magic hated watching.
Oh.
Like there was at no point I was like, oh boy.
And all three of those were pod assignments too.
Yeah.
Like all three things that we watched for the pod.
And so if anyone's noticed that there's not been as many pod assignments, I think it's because I was like, fuck this.
It is hard though.
And then let's see. I did hate watch that movie that we got into, like where I was rude to you, Megan.
Oh, you weren't that bad, but yeah.
What was that movie?
Oh my god.
Sabak.
Sobak.
Yeah.
Sobak.
I did hate watch Sobak.
At
And
least that was only a movie.
And here's the thing, My Demon, I did not hate watch. So when people are like, oh, but you hated My Demon,
Right.
I didn't hate watch My Demon. I was just enraged by the end. And there's a very different
For sure.
vibe to that than just
Right.
hate watching. Cafe Minimum. Oh God. The anger I felt in having to watch Cafe Minimum Dong.
I will admit, Cafe Minandong, I did a lot of fast forwarding. I did. I did.
Another thing, I used to not fast forward. I used to feel like that was like not okay. Because I'd be like, what?
It's okay.
I was like, how can I be like judging it if I fast forward it? Because I'm like missing stuff. I have let that judgment go. I have released it for myself.
Yeah. So it's I have a hard time because there's a lot of dramas that I've stopped watching, and I don't necessarily think I didn't drop them because like I hated them. I dropped them because I either wasn't in the mood for them or they just weren't doing it for me, but I wasn't mad about it. Does that make sense? I wasn't like
You
I
weren't
don't-
like
yeah, so I wasn't like Vincenzo I dropped, which we'll have a pod on Vincenzo coming out from
With none
friends-
of us.
none of us, but friends of the pod. For you Vincenzo lovers, I was just like, I'm not into this, and I'm not gonna watch what I'm not into. So probably the only thing that I hate watched, and I say this with a caveat, you probably know what I'm gonna say, is my Mister. And the reason I was hate watching it was because by the end I had such severe trauma fatigue.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a little different with Leah in that I did not love Cafe Minimum Dong, but at least I was like slightly entertained and I wasn't like tired and upset. And watching My Mister to me, or I would say dramas that are similar to My Mister in that it's just a lot of trauma, I get exhausted. I get sad. I'm very empathetic. And so all that like trauma those characters are feeling, like I feel it, but then I reach a fatigue point and then I'm just pissed because then I'm just mad that I feel like this. And that's the way I got with My Mister. Does that make sense? It's the trauma fatigue that I do not handle well. And so that's the thing. It's not like that means I'm saying it's a bad drama. I'm saying it's absolutely not for me. So I would say that's the only one that I hate watched. And I did not enjoy the end. Like by the time I was done, I was just so relieved because I was like, good, the pain is over. The pain that these characters went through is over. Thank God I'm released.
I mean,
so that's the only
I get
time. That. Yeah, I would say. And but then the thing is with My Mister is that I wouldn't have been able to stop. I don't think. Because I also did need to know how it ended. And I needed to see it. So I think that's why even if it wasn't a pod assignment, I would have like hate watched it. Whereas other dramas, if they're just not doing it for me, I just kind of stop, you know? So.
Yeah, I feel like you're the only one of us that hasn't really like hate watched something like where you're really just angry to have to do it. You know what I mean?
No, I kind of just like roll with it unless again I have trauma fatigue. Then I'm pissed. You know,
Interesting. Like,
I get
would
it, 'cause, like-
you would
Oh, go
you
ahead.
stick with something if it was an actor that you loved, like even though you hate, like, because that was me with Personal Taste. I was like, it's Eamon Ho. Like, I can't jump ship. Like, it's him.
So I know, and no, I'll still drop it because I dropped Welcome to Samdal-ri with Ji Chong-uk. We all know I'm a massive Ji Chong-uk fan. And I just got it just wasn't, I wasn't into it. It wasn't even, I just didn't really like the writing. I didn't really love how the storyline was going. It wasn't bad per se, because I also didn't finish it, so maybe it got worse. I don't know. But I did drop it. I also actually I do want to go back to Flex X Cop. That's with An Bo-hyun because it was really fun. I think at the time there were like other things I wanted to watch more, and Flex X Cop was definitely the kind of drama that was like light and silly in a way. And An Bo-hyun's character was definitely a little bit of a caricature, which is fun for a little bit, but I just wasn't sure how long it was going to last. Does that make sense? So I will drop a favorite actor. I will.
That kind of brings me to another question that isn't
Oh,
from.
wait, I did that too. Sorry, I did
go
that
ahead.
too. I haven't hated on this in a little bit. I don't know. Well, I'm so sorry. I'm not normally a hater.
No, you're not.
Curtain Call with Kang Han-nul. I did drop that,
Oh.
and I Kang Han-nul since. Oh, and I hate watch Pirates. My God, I hated Pirates so
Oh
much.
my God, that
You
was a
did.
terrible movie. That was a terrible movie.
See, I was still vastly entertained.
I didn't hate watch it. Because
Yeah.
it was silly as hell.
It was
but
so dumb, and
Yeah.
I was actually delighted to see what other dumb shit
I
they
could
were gonna
not
do.
tell you one thing about the plot of that movie right now.
The
Not one
killer-
thing. I
killer
just know he
penguins.
was in it and there were penguins.
Wait, Leah, in addition to Curtain Call, didn't you drop that other one with Kang Han-nul that was like he was in prison?
Yes, I've dropped every
Everything since Amelia.
Yeah, everything since I mean, I loved Midnight Runners. I loved Scarlet Heart, Moonrayo. I loved him in Camellia. I mean, he was my top alt bias drama actor after When the Camellia Blooms, and then I watched his like reality show Traveler, where he like went through like Patagonia. I was like, and then since then just hasn't sold me. And honestly, I will say that like Gong Yu after Silent Sea, I've been kind of taken out. I have gone from Team Gong Yu. I will say this: I said like there needs to be a team. There needs to be no teams in life. But I'm just gonna be, I'm in the mood. I am Team Lee Dong-wook. They were like, I used to be Team Gong Yu only, and I was like, it's fine, but like I'm not Team Lee Dong-wook. 100%, I'm Team Lee Dong-wook. Like,
Yeah.
He has not disappointed me.
hardcore. And I'm like, just got like funnier, and like I don't know what it is, but like I'm just in Gong era, and I'm Gong Yu era. And then Gong Yu, if you're listening to me, I'm sure you're like, I don't fucking care. So
I was like, she sounds terrible, and now she's gone. She was
Yeah.
keeping her camera off because of
It was a little weird. And
yeah.
Oh, there you're back.
Leah's back. For all you listeners, because we're not editing this, Leah's having some internet issues.
I apologize.
She popped out and now she's back.
I am back.
Okay.
Sorry, it's the campus.
No, it's okay. I hope you stay back.
I still will never get over the fact that you work on a college campus that has terrible internet.
Terrible MIPS.
I know,
Terrible
and
MIPS.
it's not even like the campus of like the Lonely Slug. It's like California.
I know. That's what I mean. You're not
I
in
mean,
like.
it's like yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's a big.
I want to. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I do. So I want to. I'm Team Lee Dong-wook too. This is the thing. He is choosing. I like whoever.
He
I don't know.
hasn't disappointed yet. Like that's the whole thing.
Tail the Nine-Tailed, I don't give a shit. That was massively entertaining. And Tail the Nine-Tailed 1938, I thought was going to be terrible. It ended up being better than the first. It was so good.
I still have to finish that.
I
I loved it.
I'm serious. Tail the Nine-Tailed 1938 is really good. Like a really good plot, really good, fantastical ideas. The acting is fantastic. I was so into it. And Bad and Crazy, again, a great choice.
One of my favorites.
He just picks good roles.
A Shop for Killers. I mean, I know Leah didn't like it, but like A Shop for Killers, I
I don't think
loved.
Leah hated it though. You didn't hate A Shop for Killers, did you, Leah?
No, I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it.
Right. But you like it was still a good, I still think for Lee Dong-wook, it was a good, like, and it was kind of a cool, different artistic choice.
Yeah.
He knows what to do.
I mean,
And
Strangers from Hell, Lee Dong-wook is
Delicious.
top two. Delicious, literally. The fact he was willing to like take his face card and be completely a psycho is so hot.
A cannibal serial killing dentist. That is his character.
Homoerotic dentist.
Yeah, I'd pass on that one.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. And it almost has Fight Club vibes.
It's my favorite role of his, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think you come to like
That's
trust
not why
an
I
actor.
lust after him. Yeah. I don't lust after him for it, but he was like, for me, A Shop for Killers, I think he was good, and that's fine. I just think it was like he's shown to me in Strangers from Hell. Like he was like, that was a very like, I don't know. I just felt like there was a lot more to do in that role, and he was interesting.
Oh, for sure. He's actually not in A Shop for Killers that much. Like in the grand scheme of things, he's only in A Shop for Killers and flashbacks. So you know what I mean. But yeah, I agree. And but I will drop a drama, even if it's my favorite. I will, because you know what? Life is short, and
there's so many dramas.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not like I drop it and I can never go back to it. So I mean, that's the thing too. If
it's
like
still there,
because we have this community now, if I drop something and then a bunch of you are like, oh my God, the drama ended up being amazing, I'll just go back to it. Fine. I can do that. So I don't mind, or even I put things on pause a lot. I very rarely like say I dropped a drama. I just, maybe because I feel bad. So I'm just always like, oh, I hit pause. I'll get back to it.
I was like, I do have dramas like that I have paused for no other reason than I went to watch something else that was like getting my attention more.
Right.
Like I've mentioned this before, like I watched half of Summer Strike and then stopped to watch something for the pod and never went back to it. I watched half of Wedding Impossible and then stopped to watch something for the pod. I watched half of Midnight Romance in the Hagwon and then went to whatever sucked me in. I don't even remember what it was. I think I started that before I went to Europe, and then I came back and got into something else. And none of those dramas did I dislike, but they hadn't like hook, line, and sinkered me. You know what I mean? Where I was like, I must go back.
Yeah. And I think that that's also okay. You still kind of got the gist. You can still at least talk about the dramas a little bit.
And they're there,
you know?
like you said, if I decide to go back. But like right now I'm watching 3 other things that have hooked me. So.
They're like books. They're not going anywhere. We can always pick them back up. And that's how I look at it. But I prefer not, like if something's making me miserable, I prefer not to watch that. Or if I, like, again, that's when I'm hate watching. If it's making me miserable. Because then that makes me mad because I don't like being miserable.
No, it's not fun.
Let's see what else is there. Well, Angela says your lives and schedules are full. When do you guys find time to write? I don't know.
We don't. We're always behind.
We're always behind. I'm always behind on deadlines. It's awful. My life is in shambles. So that's your answer. Okay.
Because we'd rather watch dramas.
Like I don't have it together. Okay. I mean, who does? Do you want me to talk about my daughter's field hockey schedule?
No.
Yeah, I've been having a crisis where like I've been writing at night late, and then like it's this like fight for consciousness.
Yes.
And I don't know what it is with this book, but I feel like this book, and it's not because the book is boring me at all, but like I'm writing it at times where like my body is literally like
you're done.
Yeah, you're done.
And so I'll find myself like coming to with like 9 pages of like the letter K because I'm like passed out with like my finger on the button.
That makes me feel bad.
I've done
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I feel bad for me too.
Yeah.
I've been there. I get
I've
it.
never fallen asleep at my keyboard. I will say. I mean, I've been writing like where I feel like a zombie for sure, but I don't think I've ever actually physically fallen asleep at my keyboard.
I've fallen asleep at my keyboard because I write at night mostly. I've fallen asleep at my keyboard so many times. I've fallen asleep with my laptop on my face because I often write like on my back on the couch with like my knees propped. And I'll wake up, the laptop's on my face and it's like been like 3 hours of it probably. Like I can't articulate how much it's not romantic what I do.
No, it's not glamorous at all.
Nope.
And here's the thing. When we start a new book, we have the best of intentions. And I know that I have like a page count, like a word count planner, right? Like I use an app to make sure that I stay on my word count. But shit happens. Like you get sick and you're like, well, if I don't write this week, then I just have to start writing 500 more words a day. I can do that, right? Mm. And then something comes up with your kids. You're like, well, if I don't write this week, then I just have to, add another 500 words a day. And it gets to the point where, and I know talking about like words a day, for those of you that aren't writers, like 1,000 words a day is a decent amount. And to say like, I'm going to write 1,000 words a day is enough that you can get a book done in a couple months, but it's also not so much that you're like pulling your hair out to try and get it done, right? Like most of us can probably do 1,000 words if we're concentrating in like 90 minutes. But because life gets in the way, it gets to the point for a lot of us where when we are 2-3 weeks out from deadline, we have to write 3,000 to 4,000 words a day to get it done. And I always write myself into that spot. And I just always have to keep telling myself, you just need to get to this date in your life and you'll be able to breathe again. But until then, this is what it is.
I know.
You're
and
in this.
Hate that. I hate that feeling. I was
it's
there over
nothing.
the summer.
And we love what we do. Like we love that we get to do this, right? It's amazing. But it's sometimes
I wrote myself into such a bad corner in Puck and Prejudice. I've talked about this before, but I'll talk about it again. So my book that's coming out in November, I was writing through 104 fever.
Yes, you were. You were so sick.
You were.
Because I had no choice. At that point, I was in such a hole. Like I was like, there is no, like, people were like, that doesn't even make sense. Like you can't physically do it. I'm like, oh, I don't know what I can do. I'm delirious. And the magical part is I really didn't have to edit anything that I wrote during my fever.
So the moral of the story is write time travel in a fever dream.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not saying it's like, yeah, but it was good enough.
It worked.
It worked.
Didn't you once write a novella in like a weekend?
I did. I wrote a 23,000 word novella in 2 days. And how I wrote it at one point, because it was so bad. This was like when I first started the podcast and I had been on like a hiatus where I'd been like part of like I have like a company that does publishing, but I'd taken like a rather large gap from writing. I think it's because as I've seen now writing again, I'm like, I'm not a very healthy writer. Like I don't feel like a particularly healthy writer. But at that time, like my contracts are fairly manageable. At that time, I was stacking contracts so much that I would like be finishing things with like other books on top of it. And so there was a point where I had finished a book and I had a novella due, but like the book took longer than expected. So I like made the deadline for my book on Friday, but my novella was due on a Monday and I hadn't even started it. So there were times during that weekend where, so first I want to give credit to my friend. She writes like cowboy and like romantic suspense dramas. She was reading my chapters. I was sending her chapter, like I would write a chapter and just send it to her being like, please just tell me it's making sense. Like I need to know it's making sense.
Yeah.
And then I was writing at one point face down on my bed. laying on the bed with my face buried in the mattress, just writing because like I had such good muscle memory on the keyboard that I was just writing because I was like, I can't even look at the screen anymore. My eyes hurt so bad.
Right.
I'm telling you, I don't know what to say sometimes because I say that out. I'm like, it doesn't sound very good.
It sounds crazy. It sounds.
I think I wrote I probably wrote 5,000 words not looking at the keyboard.
That's
Not
crazy.
looking at the screen or keyboard.
Or keyboard. You weren't looking at anything.
Or yeah, the screen or just my face in a pillow, pretending to eat, but I wasn't.
And she disappeared again, folks. We'll get her back shortly.
And you're back.
Oh my God. And then my internet even was like, I've had enough of you. Goodbye. I feel like I just like what this does is it turns me into an agent of chaos to a degree that like I really think I have a potential to be an agent of chaos. But I like am a mom and like have a house and like, you know, a family. So I can't like be fully an agent of chaos. But I definitely have like elements to me that I think like yeah.
I say this with love. You absolutely do.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think I actually have thought like if you didn't have kids, oh my God, you would be, I don't even want to know. Like you'd be living on like a
Wild haired
with your Birkenstock.
She'd be typing on a typewriter from the torture
off the land.
I don't know. I don't know what would happen. So, I mean, I feel like I'm in a conventional life, and I don't know. This makes me sound like I'm being like Edgar. I was like imitating Edgar Allan Poe today to my daughter because she had to do the Raven for school. And I was like, you know, he was just like such an emo baby. Like he would have been like the one at school who's like, oh my God, I'm just so intense. Like you can't understand.
Nobody understands me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one understands me. I'm just so Edgar Allan Poe-ish. So I'm not trying to like present like that. I just have like pretty good self-awareness that like I think I am like probably like deeply unconventional yet in a very conventional life environment.
Yeah. Sometimes I think, and I'm to a lesser degree than you, but sometimes I do think like I'm just a soccer mom. Sometimes I don't like reducing. I don't really like the soccer mom thing, but like that's what I think I appear probably to people. But then like my day job is writing like alien romance and it's like insane. Like, like what I'm writing on a daily basis. And I'm like, if only people knew, you know, like inside I feel a lot different than, how I outwardly project or whatever my appearance.
And so to tie this into like K-drama again, I think for me, something I would love to have, I talked about this actually on the last pod I did, which was like my like conversation with Susan Lee, who we talked a lot about like her journey as like a Korean immigrant through like romance novels and like how she was like trying to like interpret culture and make friends through like reading books and things like that. It was like a fun conversation that was like pretty freewheeling. But in it, at one point, I talked about, so I'm going to name it again for this podcast because I'm just going to keep talking about it now, is I would love to be able to talk, even if we end up having a translator, with some K-drama writers.
Yeah.
Because I do want to hear, I mean, like, I understand, like, I want to know more about, like, because in my mind, I'm like, you feel like you must be so much more structured. Like, you must be like, are you in an office writing? Or are you at home with your face in the mattress being like, I have to write my dearest the last 3 fucking episodes because they got a sponsorship deal or something. And like,
so here's my sell to you for No Gain, No Love then. Okay. Bringing that up. Because No Gain, No Love has a side character. Although, I mean, like, I feel like it's more of an ensemble. I mean, yeah, Shimina is the main character, but there are some side stories going on that I think are pretty significant. And so this is Han Ji-hyun is the actress and she plays Nam Ji-yeon and she's a romance writer. And these 3 women all live in a house together and you'll see like everybody else is sleeping and she is sitting up at her computer, like agonizing over like, what is the ending? I don't know what to do for the ending. And like up until all hours of the morning. And then you see her like get up from her computer and stretch and get into bed. And then Shin Min-a's character is like getting up and stretching because she's getting up, you know, for her day. And so I think that that's like a great portrayal of a writer, like kind of, you know, up to all hours of the night, like not knowing what the fuck to do with the book. And I wonder, like, is that, you know, is our drama writer writing from experience?
Yeah, and I do want to know, like, are they writing in an office with a team? I know, like, they say that they're a writing team, but are they like? I really want to know the
Like,
structure.
how do you write a drama?
Yeah, are you just writing at home in like a fever dream, like how I feel we do? Like, a fever dream, literally and figuratively for some of us. But yeah,
some of it, because also if you think about it, I feel like the deadline part of it is what helps me create in commercial fiction.
Yes.
And I think of like the crushing deadline of like, you know, you've got like, like you've got like this show, you've got sponsorships, you've got the acting crew, you've got like the whole production, like it's all lined up. I personally think I would fucking thrive in it.
oh, yeah, I think I would buckle. I don't know. I think
mean,
I could
I'm not
do
saying
it,
it would
but
be good. I'm not saying it would be good, but I'm saying I could get it done.
Especially
Yeah,
if you're
I work
writing like
better on
episodes
deadlines.
week to week. Like, and I know like sometimes that happens and sometimes that doesn't. But I love that idea. Like, it's hard for me to produce without a deadline.
Oh, same.
Like you both know, like, that I have a book that I'm kind of working on right now, but it's not contracted.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm very excited about this book.
Mhm.
I think about it every single day.
Oh,
But sitting down to write is very hard for me because it's not due. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So basically what I'm saying, and I'm putting out to the universe, and I do every day, is buy it, editors.
Yeah.
that
So then I have a deadline. I totally feel you because I'm the same way. I have like a proposal with my agent, and I should probably keep writing some chapters, but I'm not because it's not due.
Right? It's
No,
hard. It's
it
hard.
is.
And you're
It's so
excited
hard.
about it. Like, I know you're excited about it, but
Yeah,
like,
I
it's
really need. Yeah, I really do. Yeah, I want to talk
the
to
pressure. Like, we talk about how like Leah's like unhealthy behavior, like we've all been there.
Yeah.
But I need that pressure to force my hands to the keyboard.
But like I just can't imagine the pressure. Knowing that like you have a deadline because the actors have to learn their lines. There's like the sets need designed for a certain time. Like, I just think about the amount of money that's riding on you finishing the script is insane.
And you might be editing on the fly too, right? Like, they might be doing, the table read, and you're like, well, that's not working. And then you've got to,
True, yeah.
and then you got to change it.
Or you have an actor being like, can I change this line? And then you have to like think, I don't know, can you? Like, I would have to be like, I don't know. I got to make sure I don't reference this later. Like, I don't remember. I wrote it at 2 a.m. Like, I don't know. I'm just so curious. We'll get there one day.
Like, our K-drama writers like doing like a Control F like I do to find out like what color somebody was wearing or what color someone's hair was, or like.
So when I'm writing, I think I've said this on the podcast before, but I'm obviously right now I'm writing where I have like a lot of made up words and I don't remember the made up words all the time while I'm writing. And how I write is I write in sprints. So I actually write sometimes 1,500 words in half an hour. Like, I write very fast and, very sloppy. I have so many errors when I write but that's just how I have to write. Like, that's how my brain functions, and it is what it is. But anyway, so I don't like to stop when I'm like mid thought, mid scene, and like go back and like be like, what did I call the fish in this planet? Whatever, you know what I mean? So I'll just write XXX. Like, I'll just put XXX. So then in edits, I just have to search for XXX and I
change
them
it
all.
to the.
But the problem is sometimes I have way too many XXXs, and then I am like trying to find all my made up words that I made up previously, and it's a clusterfuck. Like, it really is a pain in the ass. I'll write. Haven't you ever like? Sometimes I'll just write in capital letters transition here.
Yeah,
I've done that before, and then I'm editing and I forgot it was in there. I'm like, fuck, I have to write like 3 paragraphs.
Well, I'll do a comment in the margin that'll say like, go back and find out what what you call this here, or what you said here.
Yeah.
I was on a panel like years ago at an RWA Romance Writers Conference with another author who talked about like how she creates a series Bible. And I was like, someday I'll do that.
Oh yeah,
And
someday.
I never have. I
No.
never have.
No, I don't do a proper series Bible.
No.
God, I should, but I don't.
My Bible is Control F.
Yeah, my Bible is searching previous books I've written.
Yep.
It's very scientific.
So I'm going to a conference the end of this month for my publisher Source Books. And I'm making swag for it. And so I have in my cowboy series, and this is the one character that runs throughout like 2 series, and she's a psychic chicken named Lucy.
That's it. I thought you were going to say that.
Yes. And I wanted to make stickers. I made stickers for Lucy. I'm looking at them right now.
Aw.
And it's just a picture of a chicken. And it says Lucy knows best.
Let me
But
see.
here's the thing. And it's just like a chicken, that I found on Canva that I liked. It was like a very haughty looking chicken. Hen, whatever. I don't remember the first time I mentioned Lucy, if I said what color she was, if I said she was white or brown.
Right.
I don't. So I made these stickers, and I know that there's going to be a reader who's like, Lucy is not a brown.
Oh, I mean, don't worry about it. Just be like, look, this is.
I know. So basically, I made the executive decision because I was going back and like pulling up PDFs of like my page proofs and like trying to find. Did I ever say what color the chicken is? And I don't know if I did, but she's brown now.
Okay, let me see. Put it in the camera.
Oh, it's in the package. So
okay.
Do a little ASMR and open them up. Hang on.
Okay, that's fine. No, that's fine.
No, I got it. Nope, that's.
Oh, that's really cute. Oh, that doesn't look. That's just kind of like a cartoon chicken.
It's a cartoon chicken, yeah.
Yeah, but I just mean I don't think anyone's gonna care what color.
No, I know
that's very cute.
But like talking about like not like shit I don't know about my own books.
Oh yeah. I don't remember the names. I get the names screwed up. I get like the couple name. I mean, it's when you've written a lot, names run together. I'm like impressed with authors who say like, oh no, I remember everyone. It's like, really? God.
Yeah, no. I made the mistake in 2 different books, 2 totally different books, not even in the same series. One has a hero named Levi and one has a hero named Eli.
Oh,
and if you don't think, like in the Levi book I wrote after, I called him Eli so many times in the book. We have lost Leah again, folks, just letting you know.
She'll be back.
She'll be popping back in, perhaps. Maybe she won't. Let's look for another question from the patrons. How about it?
Okay.
What are your thoughts? This is from Heather. What are your thoughts on rewatching a drama? Have you ever watched something that was better the second time around? Is there a drama that you loved but won't rewatch? And is there one that doesn't stand the test of a second round? And I will start by saying that I have not rewatched something in a really long time. But when I first started watching dramas, and I've mentioned this before, like the very first drama was Crash Landing on You, right? And because I did not know how many wonderful dramas there were out there, and because Crash Landing on You affected me so, when I finished Crash Landing on You, I was like, well, there's nothing else in my life that I can do except to watch this drama again. And literally, I finished episode 16 and went right back to episode 1.
And didn't you do that with Goblin?
Yeah.
You watched
Goblin too.
Yeah. We're talking about what we've rewatched, Leah, and if we.
But I haven't. But like, there's now I know that there's so much great stuff out there that there's not time for me to do that. There's dramas that I love a lot that I would love to rewatch. Like I would love to rewatch Alchemy of Souls.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to rewatch, Lovely Runner. But dramas that I think I won't, like going to the other part of the question, like a drama that I wouldn't rewatch. I don't think, like going back to my Lee Min-ho era, I love, and I'll still say it, I loved Boys Over Flowers. I don't think I should watch it again though, because I don't think that would stand the test of time for me. Especially now that I've seen like Lee Min-ho in Pachinko and like seen like what he can do far beyond Go Joon-pyo. But I'm glad that I watched it, and it will forever be like one of my faves. Because it was one of my first, and because it was like one of those classic dramas. But I don't think I'll watch it again.
Yeah, I'm not a big rewatcher. I'm not a big rereader. It's just not something that I tend to do. I've really only rewatched Crash Landing on You, and that was because we did it for the pod. I still loved it a second time. Of course, it didn't impact me the same way it did the first time. Like things
Because
don't. That's
right.
yeah. That's why I don't rewatch a lot of stuff. I also rewatched I Am Not a Robot. Impacted me the exact same it did the first time. Like I can barely talk about that drama because I can't rewatch it because again I don't think because like it's so emotionally, but not like trauma fatigue.
No,
it's not trauma fatigue. It just affects me so deeply to watch that drama.
it's so good.
Yeah, I might rewatch Healer. I'm a little worried Healer might not.
You might not be as into parkour as you were.
No, I'm a little worried Healer wouldn't fully hold up. And that's kind of why I'm like, I'm not going to rewatch it. Like, don't know. I'm going to remember Healer the way he made me feel in his white
Bong
sheet.
Soo.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just not. I want to watch something new. And that's usually always the way I am.
I've been wanting to watch some rewatches, but I also feel like here's the thing is I feel like right now there's like a pressure to watch some new things because I know that like listeners like want to hear like us talk about some of the cool stuff that's coming out. And I also know that like my time is very crunched because like I'm essentially now watching shows either like on my walking pad or I'm watching them like kind of crunched for like an episode in between like this deadline that like I my book's due on October 14th. And so I don't feel like I have a lot of space to like just comfort watch whatever right now. I feel like it's like I got to get into it. And I am genuinely excited. Like I do really want to watch Blackout, the Byung Johan movie or not movie show. You know, No Gain, No Love looks good. But if I could just wave a wand and just like crash out in like a big comfy bed and just turn on whatever, I would watch Ken Porsche.
Yes. Oh, actually, I take that back. I watched Kin Porsche like 3 times. I take that back. I have watched Kin Porsche a lot. I probably rewatched Kin Porsche more than anything. And I fully agree with Leah. I'm in the mood to watch Kin Porsche again. Like that is how much I love that drama. And I think I've watched Love in the Air twice too. But Leah is correct. Kin Porsche rules all.
I do love like Goblin's still my number one, but like I don't know when I'm gonna rewatch the entire thing again. But it is purely joyful to me. Like when I come across, like I just saved it on either TikTok or Instagram Reels like a week or so ago. I just came across like Lee Dong-wook singing the Goblin song, the Goblin Underwear song, you know, when he's doing the laundry.
Oh yeah.
And like when I see scenes from it, it just like gives me the most joy and warms my heart. And I know that will forever be my favorite.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because that is sometimes too. I don't necessarily rewatch whole dramas, but I will rewatch clips. And
favorite parts.
Yeah, I will rewatch, or I'll just like randomly go down a rabbit hole where I'm just rewatching clips or like Instagram reels of clips or something like that. And I love doing that. I love rewatching clips of a drama because I feel like I think I get the feeling I got while watching it, but just like real quick. It's like a little dopamine serotonin boost. You know what I mean? Just like watching that clip.
There is an interesting, so on Heather's post there, another patron, Linda, commented that she said, I find they often get better as I rewatch them. The King Eternal Monarch for sure gets better because you understand it better. And I do think that would be a fun one to rewatch because I did love that drama. Like that is one of my top dramas, but I did spend much of that drama trying to do doppelganger math. And it broke my brain. Like, because you've got parallel universes and doppelgangers in every one, and not knowing who's who and who is in the right world and who is trying to take over the life of their doppelganger. And I remember, like, because I watched it first, and when you guys started it, I'm like, you're not going to know what the fuck is going on for like 4 episodes. So just like bear with it. So I think stuff like that was confusing to start would be fun to rewatch, having a little bit more like a Time Called You. I think I would like to rewatch that sometime.
Yeah, the ones where you spend a few episodes just being confused, that's frustrating because you're not like really getting into it. So that would probably be a good rewatch. I'm trying to think what like I wonder if I would also like even like Goblin, because you don't know who Lee Dong-wook is for a while. Like you don't know his backstory for a long time, and I haven't rewatched Goblin. Part of me wonders if I should rewatch Goblin.
If you do, I would.
I know. I feel like maybe I should. I might like that. I would love to rewatch Love Between Fairy and Devil, but it's so freaking long.
It's so long.
But God, that was good.
It was good.
So, so we didn't get to all the questions, but thank you, as always, thank you, for giving us ideas on things to talk about for our uncensored episode. We always appreciate it.
Yeah, these are great, and I love being able to go back and like revisit dramas that we, like talk about dramas that we've already watched, and I love this idea of like, deep diving on actors that we like and watching actors that we like. And yeah, I do think there's so many dramas out there to watch, and that is something that has changed in my drama watching life. Is in the very beginning, we were just trying to watch all the dramas that everybody said, oh, you have to watch this drama. And we weren't watching dramas that were like newly airing. Like I didn't even know that was a thing.
Me either. I didn't know you could watch currently airing dramas as they aired when we started watching. I didn't know that was a thing at all.
So now that's kind of fun to be doing that, because I think that does let me watch more. Like I usually say that I can't double dip, but I can when I'm watching currently airing stuff. So that's fun.
So anyway, that is this month's Uncensored. We'll be back in the next few weeks with some trope talks, some deep dives.
Why don't we sign off with what we're watching right now? What do you watch? Are you watching anything right now?
Yeah, so I am watching The Stand-In, which is a Thai BL. I literally just started it and I was beyond confused at the first episode. So much so I was going to drop it, but after a discussion with Allison from Afternoona Army, I figured out.
She talked you off the ledge.
She talked me off the ledge
of dropping the drama.
Which is funny because a character, it's not a spoiler, in the first 5 minutes he falls off a ledge. So
oh, seriously?
Yeah, it's like that's like how, because there's like a body swap situation, and that, again, not a spoiler. It's like the premise of the show, but he falls off a cliff and then his body swaps. So anyway, she talked me off the ledge. I get it now. And I'm also watching No Gain, No Love, which I like very much. And I think that's it.
Yeah, and I am watching No Gain, No Love. That's the drama that I'm actually current on. I just caught up on episode 8 today. As we're talking about this, we'll have 2 more episodes by the time this podcast comes out next week. I am also watching Pachinko. I am behind on Pachinko, just by a week, I think, but Pachinko is fantastic. And thanks to Leah's recommendation, I'm also I'm on episode 8 of It's Okay, That's Love. So 2 current dramas and 1 bit of a classic from 2014. Loving them all.
And I am watching 4 Minutes, which is a Thai BL that's very explicit, and there is not a closed door in sight. You're basically just like, it's like a virtual experience. Like you're basically like an IMAX of, you're like
an IMAX of butt cheeks.
Yeah, you're like
nothing's left to the imagination.
No, you're like a third person in the room for every. You're just right there.
Awesome.
You can like smell their sweat. So, and I can't get over. I will never be over the fact that it's sultrier version. I think that's hysterical. That I don't know, the fact that they use the word sultry. It's not just the uncut version, which is what they normally say.
Sultrier.
It's the sultrier version. Not even the sultry version.
Sultrier.
I don't know. The whole word choice there has me laughing. But anyway. All right. Well, I think we're done for tonight. So thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back next week.
Annyeong.
Annyeong.
Kamsahamnida. Thank you for listening to Afternoona Delight. Where can you find us outside the pod? Head on over to afternoonadelight.com. That's AFTERNOONADELIGHT.com. You'll find links to all our social media, our book recs, K-pop and K-skincare recs, and if you want even more Afternoona Delight, because really who doesn't, you can join our Patreon, where you can choose the patron level that's right for you. Join in daily K-drama conversations, listen to bonus podcast episodes just for patrons, and participate in our monthly live K-drama support group via Zoom. We can't wait for you to be a part of the community. Until next time, annyeong!